Yeah, welcome back. Just looking at the stock market here and crypto today. Dixie seems to be dumping. Oh, lovely. So when Dixie dumps, because Bitcoin is in opposition to this, we normally get a rally on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is currently holding at 17.4 after dumping down to 15.5. So that's an interesting day for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at this. Nasdaq's down 2.3. S&P doing slightly better, only down 2 points. Uh, Oil is climbing up, but it's holding around the 85 level, 86. British pound is up 2 points, doing well. But yeah, good to see these cryptos now rallying again. If you did manage to buy some cheap cryptos, good for you. But yeah, Bitcoin should be directly opposite to what Dix is doing at the moment. We are still below this yellow line here. This is the 4 hour. My fear is that we go up to this yellow line, we fail to break through, and we bounce back down and head towards the 15.5 again, maybe even lower to 13.5. Some people are predicting, a low of 12 to 10,000 on Bitcoin, but I can't see it going down that low. This is the result of a black swan event, coincidentally and conveniently coincided with the US midterms. I don't know if the two are related, but there are rumors that the owner of FTX was a Biden supporter and also a Biden donor. So whether that has any effect on it or whether there's anything there to that. RSI says we got further up movement even from here. We do have to break this like 18.5 level though. And my concern is we bounce and head back down. But at the moment we're doing well. Doing well. Up 10 points on Bitcoin, up by 18 points on ETH. If my phone stopped freezing and it will allow me to open, show you the chart on ETH. So ETH is making a similar pattern here, but the uptrend line on ETH is a little higher up. So whether we get to that point or not, I don't know. Excuse my previous blue and yellow lines here. These are actually like a few years old, and these are areas where ETH has hit and used as support and resistance in the past. And as some Bitcoin YouTubers say, before the pattern is after the pattern, after the pattern is before the pattern, um, which means they follow the same sort of trend lines as they've done previously. And as you can see here, this ETH has hit this top blue line at the bottom range here, failed to break through, and then it has gone for the dump. Nobody was expecting it to go below the trend lines that it was currently following or has been following, but yeah, black swan events like this FTT, FTX nonsense um, can definitely cause upset in the market. I'm not sure if that's the previous black swan event there. No. So all the way back to Mt. Gox getting hacked and a few other black swan events. This is not new to crypto. This has happened before. I'm getting all these notifications in now, and that's why my shit is slow. But yeah, we've got 20 days, 10 hours left on the monthly candle here, and on ETH at least we have not made a lower low, which indicates to me that we can still go back up from there. It's not really that much of a problem. But with 20 days left on the candle, I'm not going to say, for definite. But yeah, If I can just find this previous Black Swan event, it doesn't appear that it affected ETH, but looking on Bitcoin, yeah, it would be this spike down below this yellow line was the previous Black Swan event. It's hard to see on the monthly candles. We do appear to be trying to retrace this monthly candle and get back above this yellow trend line. And this yellow trend line did start back in 2019, June, maybe May. And we've been climbing up it ever since, with the exception of the Black Swan event. I wish my phone had stopped freezing on me. Yeah. Black Swan event was here. March 20th. What was happening in March 20th? Well, we had the lockdowns, and the stock market dumped, and everything else went with it, including crypto. But then the following month, crypto recovered. I don't know what happened with the stock market. I think it's still recovering now. But crypto is definitely more resilient to this Black Swan event of the lockdowns to uh, more than crypto, more than the stock market was. So yeah, looking good today on crypto. We do have the risk of hitting the 17.5 and falling back down though if we fail to break above this line. But other than that, as you can see, a lot of these assets are doing pretty good. I'll just explain a little bit about myself and crypto. Right, FTT is up 100%, but it's down at $3. This was the offending coin that took the whole fucking market down. Whether it goes to zero or not is another thing. But yeah, let's have a look on the 4 hour, see if we're getting any updates. Oh, I wish my phone stopped freezing. So yeah, I was studying with the Open University. I'm doing computer science, and part of one of the courses was to look at Bitcoin, a digital asset, or digital assets. And at the time, Bitcoin was around $50. I wish I'd have bought in at that point, but no, I just studied it. I actually got into Bitcoin when it was 40 grand. Saw a news report. This is like 5, 6 years after I'd read about Bitcoin, and I remembered it used to be $50 for one Bitcoin. And I couldn't believe it, 40 grand from $50. I just had to get in. Previously, I'd invested in premium bonds, and over a period of like 10 years in premium bonds, I probably earned about £75. I won £75. They do a monthly draw. You can win $1 million, but one of the lowest prices is 25. And I thought it was, it's a good, safe place to store money, but it's not very profitable in comparison to what you could potentially earn with digital assets. But digital assets like this Black Swan event here just show that they are high risk. See if I can go over to Twitter. Right, total market cap. Well, 10% on the total market cap. Trying to recover this blue line here that we've held for some time. We failed to break back into the 1 trillion comfortably on the orange line here. I'm running 2 phones in front of me at the moment, so excuse me for messing about. But yeah, there's a possibility here we recover this blue line here and we just carry on trending back up. There's no guarantees of that, but today with Dixie being down, the dollar, we're definitely going to get a pump on crypto, and if some good news comes out of the FTX saga, again, this will encourage people to invest in the market. But I think the nature of people being greedy, uh, they will see this dump as an opportunity more than something to be fearful of. And since the market is based on greed and fear, I think a lot of people are going to be very greedy to jump into crypto or stack more sats this week, this month, on crypto due to this Black Swan event. If you don't know what a Black Swan event is, Mt. Gox got hacked, I don't know, 2018, maybe even earlier than that. And again, that was a Black Swan event that took the market down pretty low. But there's been many Black Swan events previously. The start of this blue line here, I think, was the last Black Swan event. This was back in March 20. What was happening in March 20? Well, the stock market fell to the fucking floor and took crypto with it because of the lockdowns and the vids. So this is not new to crypto. These Black Swan events do happen from time to time. Now, I can't say that this is definitely going to recover. We're getting above this blue line. We're going to go to the moon straight afterwards, because there's no guarantees with these high-risk assets. But what I can say has happened in the past is we have recovered from these before, and we have pumped the shit out of these assets in the past, post Black Swan. And I think the reason for that is because the market is based on fear and greed. When a Black Swan event does happen, that's when retail investors and other investors are at their most greedy. So if they see a bargain on Bitcoin, Bitcoin's previous been at 69,000, this previous high, top of this red line here. So people who have seen that in the past and then realize they can now buy Bitcoin at 17,000. Yeah, it's an opportunity that some investors cannot resist, and the more people that can't resist and are that greedy at this price, the higher the price will go and the quicker it will do so. Excuse the dog in the background. So let's take a look at Twitter. Again, excuse the noise. So FTX is the exchange that is having trouble at the moment. If my Twitter will load. And it's this kind of CEO of FTX that's kind of fucked things up for everybody. He's been doing some shady things with people's deposits. And that means that he's not actually got the money on the books where he should have. He shouldn't have been doing shady things with people's investments, and that's got him into trouble. Binance has called him out for this, and then all of a sudden people have started taking their money out of FTT because Binance was worried that FTT was not backed by actual funds. And they were threatening to take their FTT out. They hold a large portion of FTT on their books, and they thought it was at risk, so they called him out for that. So we've got Justin's son here. I think he's the owner of another exchange. I don't recall what he is, but yeah, he's in Sun. He's in Sun. He's in Tron. He's like the owner of the Tron. And saying further to my announcement to stand behind all Tron token holders on FTX, we are putting together a solution together with FTX to initiate a pathway forward. So the owner of Tron is working with FTX at the moment for holders of that particular asset, at least to try and find a solution, a way forward, so people don't lose their money if they hold Tron on FTX. Now, for a lot of other blockchain CEOs, do the same thing, FTX could actually pull through this. I think it's doubtful, and I don't think everybody's going to be like Justin Sun here. Um, he's posted a bridge to the ark out of the swamp that's currently engulfing the crypto market. Excuse the adverts. Apparently, the CEO of FTX just filed for bankruptcy. This was 16 hours ago before Justin Sun made his announcement. Owes lenders 650 million. Uh, yeah, it's a holy shit moment. I would debate the 650 million. I think an exchange like that with all the different coins on there, all the different assets would probably come up to a bit more than 650. But yeah, this was 16 hours ago. Binance confirms it's decided not to acquire FTX after the corporate due diligence. Yeah, because they looked at his books and they found he was doing dodgy shit with his thing, with people's deposits, which is a shame because it does affect the whole market when somebody acts in an unprofessional way like this, or even criminal way. There is rumors that FTX is now under investigation by not only the SEC but the Department of Justice too. So these are pointing out some of the other characters in crypto that have fucked up in the past. Do Kwon with the Terra Luna. Uh, Luna was the last asset that died. Well, not died, it's still available. You can buy it if you want, but I won't bother. Um, and that caused a dump in the market as well. But it's these kind of characters here that don't really know what they're doing in terms of so much money, and business acumen, that cause real dumps in the market here. What we got here? Guess what's up in buy volume on crypto? Lunk. So Luna is recovering based on this dump. But yeah, all assets will be recovering at this point. Hex founder says FTX appears unable to pay depositors their money. They may have to sell other things they own to get the money. But yeah, if you check out this FTX character here, he's a bit of he's a billionaire, I think. So he's gonna have to dig deep into his own pockets and start paying people back. Again, excuse the background noise. I'll try and speak up a little. Neighbors' dogs are a bit noisy. Just in crypto market loses 44 billion overnight. This is last night's dump. This is posted 5 hours ago. This is from investing.com, I think, or at least the information is. And it shows Bitcoin at 5 hours ago at 16.7. We're currently at 17.4. And we're hoping for a recovery. So the more good news you get with FTX today, the less FUD there'll be in the market. And FUD is where the media say, oh, Bitcoin's going to zero, Bitcoin's going to 10,000, all this kind of stuff. Excuse the adverts. Yeah, Binance has officially stated on Twitter that they are not buying FTX. They don't want anything to do with this deal. After their due diligence and they found out he was messing about with the deposits and doing shady shit with it. Imagine being bankrupt and trying to kill DeFi on your way down, yeah. So a lot of people have lost a lot of money on this. Alameda balance sheet may end up like this. Solana is supposed to be dumping, or somebody's supposed to be dumping a large amount of Solana on the market later on today or earlier this morning. Fortune collapsed. The next Warren Buffett. I don't know about that. I don't know much about Warren Buffett being collapsed. From the next Warren Buffett to an outcast in less than 2 months. Oh yeah, because he was in Fortune 500. But yeah, it just shows how easy you can be subjected to this. Downfall of FTX. The guy, he does look a bit like this Jonah Hill, don't he, really? Does have similarities, isn't it? An hour ago, FTX suspends customer signups after widespread criticism. That was posted an hour ago, but I did actually see this yesterday myself, and I made a post on LinkedIn. Um, FTX is closed for new customers, and I think withdrawals are closed as well, so you can't take any money out of the exchange, but you can still deposit. Now that's insane to me. Who would even use FTX at this point? And if you had the ability to withdraw your money, wouldn't you do so? That just makes sense to me. But yeah, this is the market today. Yeah, this is 17 hours ago. As a result of corporate due diligence as well as the latest news report regarding mishandling customers' fund, and alleged U.S. agency investigation is referring to Saga. There's another investigation by the Department of Justice as well. Binance has decided, fuck FTX. It's not buying it. It's not gonna mess with it, and I don't blame them really. Yeah, some pretty good memes going around about this character now. Lunker's flip green. Again, I don't know who would invest in Luna at this point either, because Luna was the last one to dump and take the whole market with it. So it's already proven to be unreliable as an asset. Alright, he's done an interview. What the hell happened? Alameda needed some cash. Carol made a few bad decisions. I sent the user funds. That's not him. Surely that's not him. Oh, he's taking the piss. It's a meme. Most simple guide how to react on alleged Tether and FTX stars. I'm sorry, you're wrong. How to answer Tether truthers. Yeah, it looks like Tether could be in trouble next, but how much or how that might affect the market, I do not know. Again, there's this rumor about 650 million he personally owes to lenders. That makes more sense. If you refer to people who own assets on FTX, it would definitely come up to more than 650 million. But people who have invested in FTX as a company, yeah, it could well be 650 million plus. Sounds like a reasonable amount. Now Bitcoin has fallen to 1736 from 17.5 at this point. I've got it on my other phone in front of me. I'll show you that in a minute. Looking at the 4 hour. Um, 1 hour and 40 minutes left on this candle, and we're stuck at 17.4. Look like we got a bounce in the last 20 minutes on Bitcoin at 17.4, and could be, I don't know, it's climbing back up. Yeah, best not to look at charts on a smaller time frame at this point. Larger time frames will give you more information to work with and give you more of a direction of where the market might be heading. If you look at 15-minute candles, it'll be up and down every 15 minutes, and you'll never be able to get an angle on what's happening with any particular asset. Solana looks like could be in trouble next, and I'm concerned about Binance as well, because if Binance did this deliberately to FTX, and I'm not suggesting that was the case, but some people are, revenge could be on the cards, and what's this? 21 hours ago, people were saying Binance will fully acquire FTX and support the FTT token, which would have been nice and probably would have solved the problems. But FTX has clearly got more problems than they're being honest about with investors and not only investors in the company but investors in the FTT coin. The people are still shilling some coins here. It's crazy. Yeah, I like that. Adios, Binance, FTX. How's that? Crypto meme. Yeah, very cool memes out today. Tether Circle and Coinbase tonight, FTX and Alameda exposure, 14 hours ago. So yeah, there's now Solana and Tether at risk of a dumping as well. And I don't know how much of this is FUD, but the more people that say that something is at risk, the more people believe it, whether it's true or not, and eventually then it becomes at risk anyway. I don't know if you've seen the old hacker movie Sneakers. There's a line in there where he says, people say banks are at risk or bank is at risk, and a lot of people hear this rumor. All of a sudden, they pull their money out of the bank, and then eventually the bank's at risk. It didn't necessarily needs to be true to start with. It's the response to the news on the market, really. Crypto.com announced yesterday that they are doing an audit, making sure everybody knows that they have got all their money on the books and people's deposits are safe. So that's a good news there for Crypto.com. A majority of FTX legal and compliance teams resigned 4 hours ago. Fuck, It's supposedly made $1 billion in revenue in a year or per year, and it's still not enough. And you still decide to rug. Yeah, everybody's suggesting this is a rug pull. They thought a lot of people were going to take the money out of FTT and decided to sell the shit anyway themselves to try and get as much profit out of it as possible before it done. But if you look at the charts, we'll go back to them in a second, but what's this? Let's see what happens next. Yeah, the market are beating the shit out of Binance. Binance is beating the shit out of FTX, and FTX is whacking Binance. It's a good analogy of what's going on at the moment. Binance yesterday put a post out, long day, still here, but really sad. And yeah, you can imagine that being the case with CZ, but yeah, what can you do in these sort of market conditions? Is it hang in there, crypto, to have been through worse? It's true, we have had black swan events previously. We've come out the other side and we've gone even higher in price on most of the assets. As this 5 hours ago, CZ ignites the FTX distress, forces a sale, pulls out, and crushes a hated competitor in the process. That's pretty much what happened. Brutal but masterful, yeah. If you were to do this intentionally as Binance, I don't think there's a more professional way you could have crushed your hated competitor than the way it was done. Very, very cutthroat business, this crypto exchange business. Crypto has suffered a liquidity crisis in recent months with firms like Celsius, 3 Hours Capital, Voyager Digital all collapsing. The bottom will be marked by an even larger industry player going to zero, Kevin O'Leary says, FTX investor and spokesperson. Yeah, I can see it happening. But Bitcoin's back up to 17.5. So I think a lot of people are being quite resilient to this. But if Tether was to crash next, or Solana was to crash next, we're gonna go back down, and we might not recover as quickly as we currently appear to be. There's no guarantees of recovery at this point, but this is BitBoy Crypto, #1 channel in all crypto. I would argue that's not the case. His take on FTT and FTX last year. People are saying he did predict that it is a dodgy exchange, but no one listened to him at the time, and I'm sure a lot of people made money on FTX and FTT between his announcement and his take on that and this crash. So it's hard to say that, his prediction was correct or listened to. Until now, everyone's looking back in hindsight and said, "Oh, BitBoy Crypto said that shit." BitBoy Crypto lost a shitload of money last year on Bitcoin because he made some wrong decisions and shit with his investments. So I don't really rely on BitBoy Crypto too much. I do follow Crypto. He's a millionaire, maybe even a billionaire, who puts large amounts of money on crypto. Um, Specifically Bitcoin, but he does buy other coins as well. And most of the time, he makes good decisions and that. And if he's wrong, he will state, that he is wrong. Another one, Crypto and Up. He's really good with the technical analysis. As that Solana does not have any assets on FTX, says the co-founder. Didn't have any assets on FTX.com, so we still have tons of runway. Luckily, still a small team. Okay. So there's some reassurance from Solana to say that they weren't on FTX. And a lot of the assets that I'm in, Shib, Doge and that, I don't think they're holding on FTX either, but we'll have to see. What's the latest? I'm sorry I fucked up. I should have done better 13 minutes ago, he says. Let's have a look at that thread. I bet people are ripping the piss out of him, and I'm not surprised. Again, excuse the dogs in the background. I also should have been communicating more very recently. Transparently, my hands were tied during the duration of the possible Binance deal. Here we go again. So, part of the Binance deal would have been confidentiality. So, why he's trying to sign up with the Binance deal is not actually allowed to say shit publicly, which makes sense in business, but it's put him in a shitty position, hasn't it, really? The problem I see now is if all of this is true and Binance was to have done it deliberately to get rid of the competition, it could actually backfire and Binance could next be at risk. Or Binance could be at risk instead of FTX, which is an even bigger problem for the crypto community because a lot more people use Binance than they do FTX. I didn't even know about FTX. I'd heard about it, in passing a couple of times, but I knew about Binance a lot more than I did any of these other exchanges. So here's an update on where things are. He says 14 minutes ago. It says all about FTX International, the non-US exchange. FTX US users are fine. So there is something to be said there that FTX International arm of the company is the part that's in trouble because they're the ones that probably hold FTT on the balance books and probably the ones that are have been messing about with the funds. But apparently the US users are fine. Treat all these numbers as rough, they're approximations here. Okay. FTX International currently has token market value of assets collateral higher than client deposits. Moves with prices. Okay. Um, has he put some of his billions back in the company to cover some of this shit that's been misused? Who knows? But that's different from liquidity for delivery. As you can tell from the state of withdrawals, the liquidity varies widely from very to very little. Yeah, depending on people's deposits and withdrawals. I get that. The full story here is one, I'm still fleshing out every detail, but as a very high level, I fucked up twice. What was the second fuck up? First time, I poor internal labeling of bank related accounts meant Poor internal labeling of bank-related accounts meant that I was subsequently off of my sense of user's margin. Okay, I thought it was way lower, so he thought he had more money than was actually there by the look of it. My sense before leverage 0x, USD liquidity ready to deliver 24x, average daily withdrawals, actual leverage was 1.7x, liquidity was zero point 0.8 on Sunday's withdrawal. Fuck, you know. Because, of course, when it rains, it pours. We saw roughly 5 billion of withdrawals on Sunday, the largest by a huge margin. And yeah, this is the sort of thing that the Binance uh, saga is kind of caused here. Um, Sunday had a large amount of withdrawals because that was the day people found out from Binance that he was doing shady shit behind the scenes. And it seems to say in his number 6 here that he was actually doing shady shit behind the scenes, but he didn't realize he was doing it. Kind of excusing himself from what he should have been doing. He should have known this shit. So I was off twice, which tells me a lot of things, both specifically and generally, that I was shit at. Oh, you shit at running an exchange, and you really shouldn't be in charge of it if you don't know what's on the books and what's not on the books. And the third time, fuck, he's even fucking gone off his. He fucked up once originally, then it was twice, and now a third time. Not communicating enough. Oh, yeah. Could say Binance had something to do with that, the Binance deal. I should have said more. I'm sorry. I was slammed with things to do. I was busy. Didn't give updates too well. Uh, and so we are where we are. Yeah, which sucks, and that's on me. I'm sorry again. Oh, it's no good being sorry when lots of people have lost a lot of money on this deal. Really ain't. Anyway, right now, number one priority by far is doing right by users. Okay, and I'm going to be do everything I can to do that. To take responsibility and do what I can. Well, if you got a billion coming in each year in your own pockets, or at least from that business, then you can put the fucking money back, really, can't you? Stop pissing people about. He's really annoying me just reading this shit. Uh, he's gonna take responsibility and do what he can. Okay. Right now, we're spending the week doing everything we can to raise liquidity. Yeah, he's definitely have to put money out of his own pocket to do that. I think. Can't make any promises, so I might fuck up again. But I'm going to try and give everything I have to if that will make it work. Well, if you've got a billion coming in every year and you've only got 650 million owed out, my calculations say that you've got it covered. But there's more shit here than it's saying. I think the number of players who we're in talks with, liquidity on investments, term sheets, etc. We'll see how that ends up. He's not really giving much information here. He's just giving you the outside of it, not telling you what's going on behind the scenes, really. And maybe there's a reason for that, but yeah, every penny of that and of existing collateral will go straight to users unless or until we've done right by them. What's the unless bit? After that, investors, old and new, and employees who have fought for what's right for their career and who weren't responsible for any of the fuck ups. No, he's not going to pay employees, he's not been paying employees. How does that work? Uh, there's definitely going on, there's more going on here than he's saying, definitely. Because at the end of the day, I was CEO. Was CEO? Has someone else taken that job? Which means that I was responsible for making sure that things went well. I ultimately should have been on top of everything. Clearly failed in that. Again, he's sorry. So what does this mean going forward? Not sure. That depends on what happens over the next week. Yeah. So if SEC come in or the Department of Justice come in and shut his fucking ass down, um, or he files for bankruptcy, like it has been stated in other posts here, fuck, I don't know if everybody's gonna get their money back on this shit, or if the employees are gonna have jobs at the end of this, because if he liquidates, he goes bankrupt, that's it, end of business, really, isn't it? First, one way or another, our media research is winding down trading. Okay, they aren't doing any of the weird things that I see on Twitter, and nothing large at all. What is the our media research? Weird things on Twitter? I don't get that. One way or another, soon they won't be trading on FTX anymore. I don't know much about the Media research, um, or what part they played in this. I've seen him mentioned a few times, but is he blaming Media research for the dump and what's going on? I don't know. So Satoshi Stacker has chimed in. Really hope for the sake of the industry there is a way out where customers don't lose funds. Well, I think that's an eventuality that's going to happen anyway. It's whether he files for bankruptcy or he's shut down by SEC or the Department of Justice. You know, I think some people are going to lose money either way. And if Alameda Research is winding down trading, anybody who's got money in that part of it, they're obviously going to lose shot. What else we got here? Benjamin Eve. Oh, don't start freezing on me now. My phone's froze. Okay. You didn't fuck up. You frauded up. Sounds more like it, really, don't it? And it's a more accurate statement. You commingle customers' deposits to leverage your own trading, which sounds about right. It sounds like what he was doing. He was taking customers' deposits and using it as leverage on his own fucking bets. Bets that went wrong by the looks of it. Which is a really fucked up way to run an exchange. Imagine people have put money into an exchange. They hold assets on your exchange and they're with you as customers like that, and you take their assets and then you bet on something else with their money. The fuck? That's some messed up shit, it really is. Donated their funds to politicians to line your pockets and curry favors. Yeah, I've heard this as well. He did donate funds to the Democrats, of all people. And my theory is this, that those donations there went to make sure that the votes that just gone through in the midterms, make sure those votes went one way, you know. It reminds me of the BLM. Uh, BLM had a donation page, and a lot of that money was going to the Democrats too. Back in when Trump was rerunning for president, and if you've seen the 2000 Mules documentary, you'll know that where that money went and what they spent it on, and yeah, all while lobbying against DeFi. Fuck off, yeah. I can totally agree with that sentiment. I'm fucking liking that comment. Yeah, big facts. No shit. Why was FTX sending money via FTX US to Alameda during the blackout period? So the blackout period referenced here is when he shut down withdrawals and new signups. Winding down trading does not seem to mean a direct halt of trading. So it had to stop anybody trading because everybody was trying to pull their fucking FTT out of the exchange. At that point, there was no way out. He had to do the blackout, but then sending money to this Alameda company during that period, that's real shady. That is. Does not seem to mean a direct halt of trading. Why not shut Alameda down as soon as possible and commit all Alameda assets towards topping up the FTX user funds? Yeah, that would have been a better way of doing it. He clearly owes money to this Alameda company, whoever the fuck they are. It's the least you can do. Yeah, no shit. What about your legal terms? Does it say there, all digital assets are held in your account on the following basis. Title to your digital assets shall at all times remain with you and shall not transfer to FTX trading. And that's just part A, and I can't be asked to read the rest of these legal terms because it's fucking annoying. But even that just states in that one sentence there that he really was fucking about with people's money. Again, my phone's freezing here. Does that taste like humble pie? What the fuck? Saying sorry is what one does when they've made a mistake, but you knew what you was doing. Yeah, you clearly did. So it's bank account mislabeling. Again, that seems like a cop out as well. How can you mislabel a bank account? Bank accounts have, um, like crypto wallets, they have an address, don't they? With the bank account, your address is your account number and your sort code. So how the fuck is that getting mislabeled? So it was a bit. It's harder to mislabel a bank account than it would be to mislabel a digital wallet, I'd say. That's some crazy shit. Sorry is what I say to my wife when I forget to take the garbage out. Doesn't quite seem to cut it when losing 8 billion of other people's money. Now that seems like a more realistic number than the 650 million that he owes to investors. 8 billion sounds about the amount of money that you would have in this sort of size exchange, you know. But yeah, it's so bad. It's over. Shut down all trading and close the exchanges. Yeah, give people their fucking money back. When Voyager declared bankruptcy on July the 5th, he should have stopped taking deposits. This was just reckless. I'm not up to date with the Voyager situation, but I think Voyager was another exchange that got into trouble, and I think FTX kind of bought them out. Can you clarify or define the term user's margin? Be interesting to find out what that is. How does poor internal labeling of bank-related accounts mean that leverage, whose, was 1.7, not 0? Good point. Because if the leverage is supposed to be 0, how does it end up at 1.7? I didn't go to MIT, so maybe I'm dumb, but I don't know what the fuck you were saying. I'm kind of confused at some of the things he said as well, but it does seem like he's trying to pass the book or saying that he mislabeled a bank-related account. It's not very easy to believe some of this shit. It's not saying anything. The market is pumping because CPI print. That's a good point. So CPI numbers are out today and they're lower than expected. So the market is pumping. Dixie's dumping. I don't think today's pump has much to do with the FTX. But I don't know what the relevance of the market pumping is in this thread. A competitor is trying to go after us with false rumors. FTX is fine, assets are fine. When did he post that? 7th of November. Deleted after 1 day, but some cunt took a screenshot. Nice. False rumors. He's referring to Binance there, but clearly these rumors were not false. Or at least they had some truth to them. Depending on what ends up coming out of this. I'm sure nobody will ever actually get the truth on what happened with the FTX here, but until he actually files for bankruptcy or the SEC or Department of Justice shut him down, there is actually opportunity here for this to be resolved, but no guarantees. And if you want to invest in crypto at this point, stay the fuck away from exchanges like FTX. Do your own due diligence and make sure you're not putting your money into some of these shady shits. Yeah, why are you deleting tweets? It's a good point. FTX is fine. Anyway, so Bitcoin has failed to break through this 17.5. Let's just bring back up the charts here. Sorry for this long video, but it makes sense to really break this down now. So FTT is actually pumping now. We're up 140% nearly. Let's see. But yeah, that's a weekly candle you don't want to see on any asset, really, is it? RSI, stock RSI at the top here is just about to print a sell signal. But again, that's on the weekly. We're probably better looking at smaller time frames here, because this is a fast-paced moving scenario here. Is FTX going to survive? Will they put their money back into FTT and or pay the depositors back their money? Who knows? Where's the lowest point it went so far? Oh, fucking hell. It was around there. $1.07 it dropped down to. And before the dump, it was like $25. Fucking hell. That's pretty bad. What was this all-time high? I've never seen this asset before. I've never heard of it before. This dump. Can't even see how old the asset is from that. Let's have a look on the weekly. Alright, so this asset was born 2019. Yeah, looks like mid-19. July, August. And what did it start at? It was around this level, $1.06. And what was its highest? It's been up to $82, $85. Yeah, I've never seen this asset before, but that's bad for any asset. But if you look at the market structure just before the dump here, you see it was in a descending triangle. Let's put some lines on this chart. Bitcoin's at 17.4. Drawings horizontal. So before the dump, we were holding this line here on the weekly. This is trend line. Yeah. It's hard to see where this line lies. But yeah, something like that. So in this right angle triangle, you see he knew he was in trouble. Cashed out at the highest point, and then everything fucking dumped straight through the 21 level. Right down to 375, where we're at now. But yeah. It's clearly been declining for some time. But so is the rest of the market as well. But there was no need for that. It really wasn't. Alright, let's check out Bitcoin 4 hour and we'll get the fuck out of here. I think I bored you enough with this stuff now. Longest video I've ever made on this shit. So yeah, the hope is with Bitcoin here, if he managed to pay back some of the funds to depositors here, we could actually recover this yellow line and continue to go back up. But there's no guarantees on this. 17,450 on the weekly, and we just got a sell signal on the RSI. But the second RSI here is near the bottom, nearly oversold, and the CCI is already in the oversold territory. Not saying that it can't go further down, or that we can't go sideways while this RSI goes back to oversold. It's the 4 hours saying. Yeah, so you can see what we're doing here. We're trying to recover this yellow line. Whether we do or not will depend what happens in the next 24, 48 hours, I think. Uh, at least by the end of this week. But the more good news that comes out of this FTX saga, um, I think the more likely we'll recover this yellow line, and the Black Swan event will be, a distant memory shortly. All right. Good luck to anybody who's in crypto at this point. As you see, it's a fucking wild ride. Ride the waves and fucking diamond hands all the way. Don't fucking sell your shit at a loss just 'cause some cunt fucked up his exchange. Good luck to everyone out there. You wanna follow me on Twitter? It's the Crypto Tech, or the Crypto Tech One, I think. Or you can Google me anyway, the Crypto Technologist. So check me out, follow me. I'll catch you all in a bit. Good luck.